The Philadelphia 76ers went from being title contenders in the offseason to having the greatest odds of having the first pick in the draft. The fallout from the Sixers and Joel Embiid will be studied for centuries. In Joel Embiid's case, I think we're all in the same boat now. There are some who saw the type of player that he was right from the beginning. A great regular season player, but someone who didn't know what it takes to win at the highest level. And then there are some who are more hopeful, who thought if he put the right pieces and the right team around him, then he can rise to the occasion. But it seems like everyone outside of Philly has given up on him. In my case, I know exactly who he is. And I'm talking specifically in context of how he'll be remembered among the all-time greats. First, let's look at his basketball resume, and you'll be able to see which top 75 player his career resembles the most. He's a transcendent scoring center that prefers to score from the outside than to bang down low on the block. He has multiple scoring titles. He won an MVP in a very competitive MVP race. He beat out players such as Nikola Jokic, Giannis, and Luka Doncic. He had a historic 3-year stretch from 2022 to 2024, and he has mysteriously fallen off. Now here's the last big clue. He has never pushed his team to the conference finals. For all my basketball historians out there, which all-time great center does his career resemble the most? Isn't it strikingly similar to Bob McAdoo? Think about it. He was also a transcendent scoring center. His bread and butter was scoring out on the perimeter. He wasn't banging bodies as much as the other centers in the league. He has multiple scoring titles, 3 to be exact. He won the MVP in a very competitive MVP race. In 1975, he beat out players such as Kareem, Rick Barry, and Elvin Hayes. He never pushed the Buffalo Braves to the conference finals. He also had a historic 3-year stretch from 1974 to 1976, and he mysteriously fell off. Both were great regular season players. Both were phenomenal scorers, but they didn't know how to get the best of their teammates. Now they had their moments in the playoffs, but they never did enough in big playoff games, which caused them to fall short. Now McAdoo's fall off after leaving Buffalo was much more confounding because you couldn't point to injuries or off the court issues. Now he still had his big scoring games in every team that he went to, but he never made them better. In Joel's case, it's fair to say that injuries played a big part in his downfall. It's hard for a player at that size to stay dominant with that kind of injury history. And we've seen this before in the past. Once injury-riddled centers enter the 30s, they're just not the same player. However, he's not totally excused. He doesn't have the intangibles nor the mindset of a champion. We've seen him shy away from the pressure and become less aggressive in big moments in the playoffs. That should have been the first sign that he just doesn't get it. But after this emergency meeting that the Sixers had with the team and the coaching staff, and what Tyrese Maxey said to the team's franchise player, has totally convinced me who Joel truly is. After all these offseason moves that they made, you would think that his mentality would be, now is the time to win. Wouldn't you want to set the tone as a leader of the team that you'll do whatever it takes to win? But his nonchalant attitude shows a lack of interest and urgency. And that's not how a true champion conducts himself, no matter how your season started. He doesn't seem to understand that making your teammates better isn't just dishing out assists. It's setting the example. It's being the first one to practice. It's being there to form chemistry with your new teammates and helping them acclimate themselves to the offense. Things of that nature. Or it could be that he's not willing to do the little things to help his team win. We won't really know what his true motives are. All we know is that he's not doing them. And this team that has such high expectations are currently the worst team in the league. Now I'm not saying that Joel Embiid will never win a title. Bob McAdoo has 2 titles to his name. But that came when he played with Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the Lakers. And he was coming off the bench. So he wasn't the first nor the second reason why they won. I think we can say the same thing for Joel Embiid. As a star of a team, he'll never win a championship. Now will his ego allow him to play a reduced role, to be a role player for a stacked team down the road, or to come off the bench to win a title. Only time will tell. When it's all said and done, here's how we'll remember Joel Embiid. At the NBA's 50th anniversary, they did not recognize Bob McAdoo as one of the 50 greatest players of all time. Now, when they did the 75 greatest players, he was on that list. His potential was top 50, but he never quite reached it. In Joel Embiid's case, I don't think he'll ever be recognized as a top 50 player. Now, top 75, of course. I don't think it's fair to bypass the accolades and achievements that he's obtained. His potential was top 50, but I highly doubt that he'll ever reach it. He is the Bob McAdoo of the NBA.